how to use pottery or clay work tools. One can use your plaster of Paris slab like this one when you wedge clay onto it. You can also use the plaster of Paris slab to dry clay on if you want to leave wet clay onto it to dry. And even if you want to work on it or you want to roll a little bit of clay onto it, you can do that as well. Okay, so this is how you use the plaster of Paris slab. Then your fish line or fish wire with this two sticks on the ends, you can roll up like this, and even if you take the clay out of its bag or whenever you want to cut a piece straight, you can use your fish line. Look there. So you can even cut the clay into slices with this one. It's also good when you have to cut a heavy piece of clay, then at least you know that you can handle cutting the clay easier. Your knife you also use to cut pieces of clay with and so on. Then if you want to join your clay together again, you need to make slip with some water. So you need a little bit of slip, and you can wedge your clay in together. So you want to make it a little bit more wet, so you make a little watery kind of little bit, just so that it's not too hard, and then you can wedge it in again. The kidneys that one use, the pottery kidneys, are to use to smooth a piece of clay like this. If you want to work off an item and you want to make it smooth a pot, you can also use a smaller one that's a bit harder and easier to work with almost. And then there's a metal kidney also. With this one you can cut clay, or you can make it smooth as well. Then with the grater, when you want to make your pot thinner, you can grate off some of the clay with that one. A spray water bottle is always good to use as well, to wet your clay with if you want to. Then you can use also a bank card to make your clay smooth, or to cut your clay with. And then if you want to roll out your clay, it's good to have a rolling pin, so you can roll your clay out with it, especially if you want to make a slab pot or some tiles or whatever. If you want to shape a ball of clay into a certain shape or whatever, you can use your flat wooden spoon or a plank, especially if you make a pot or so, and say you want to make it more into a cylindric form or cylinder form or something like that. Then your tools that you bought from a shop, arts and crafts shop, you can use to make patterns or relief on it, and you can make a pattern, cut a pattern out on it. And with the toothbrush you can put some water onto a piece of clay if you want, or you can also to make it wet, or you can scratch with your plastic fork. if you want to join a piece of clay, you always scratch it on both sides, and then you put more of your, you use your toothpaste again, toothbrush, almost like your slip is almost like a toothpaste there because it sticks, and you can put it onto the spot where it's like this, scratch a bit, so you even put it on again, yeah, and you work it in. To hollow out your pot underneath, you use these wire tools to make it lighter or whatever. So these are the tools that you use to make it a bit lighter or whatever. And then of course you also need a plastic bag that you can cover the clay with again afterwards. So you cover your clay afterwards with a plastic bag, you put it inside the plastic bag when you're done. And that is how you use most of your tools.